welcome back. Now in this video you're going to learn how to write a formal letter or a polite email and the differences between the two. So what are some of the situations you might find yourself in where it is necessary to write a really polite formal letter or an email? Well, you might be applying for a job, and in the job advert they have asked you to write a covering letter, and they might have provided their email address for you to send that covering letter to, or they might have provided a postal address for you to post that letter to, and that will determine whether you are going to write a polite email as your cover note or whether you're going to write a formal letter as your covering letter. You may also want to make a complaint, so for example to your bank manager or an insurance company that you deal with. Perhaps that's what you need to do. Or maybe an organisation has written to you and you actually need to create an email or a letter in response to that. So whatever the situation is, this video is going to help you in creating that formal letter or polite email. So let's have a look at some examples. Now let's say you don't know the name of the person that you are writing to. But perhaps you need to still write a formal letter to that person. How are you going to address your reader if you don't know their name? This is what you're going to do. You're going to write, "Dear Sir" or "Madam." Now, if you know that it's a man you're writing to, you might just write "Dear Sir." Or if you know that it's a lady that you're writing to, you might just write "Dear Madam." But if you do not know who you are writing to at all, it is best to put "Dear Sir" or "Madam." Now, we can afford to be a little less formal but still polite in an email address. So we can write something along the lines of "To whom it may concern." And that's again if we don't know the name of the person that we are writing to or the person that is going to be opening and reading our letter or email. But let's say you do actually know their name because perhaps they've already written to you in the past. Well then, to be very polite in your letter or your email, you could write "Dear Ms." and then their last name. Now if you're saying Ms, it's because they are a female that you are writing to, but they are either not married or you don't know if they are married or not. That's when you would use the title Ms. You might say "Dear Mrs." and then their last name. If you use Mrs, it means that you know that they are a married female. If you don't know whether they're married, you're going to use Ms. You might say "Dear Miss" and then their last name. So if you're using Miss as a title, you know that they are an unmarried female. Or you might say "Dear Mr." and then their last name. And if you're using Mr, it's because you know you are addressing a man. And you can use this formula in an email or a letter, doesn't really matter. Now once you've done your address, you want to thank the reader in some way. So let's imagine that this person has already written to you and you are writing your response. Well, you could say, "Thank you for your letter." Or you might say, "Thank you for your email." If you want to be really polite, you might say, "Many thanks for your letter. Received on," and then give them the date that you received their letter. Now perhaps you're not writing in response to a letter or an email that somebody has sent you, but you want to compliment the reader. So perhaps you're going to say, "I hope you are well." Or even more formal than that, if the reader is a representative of a certain organisation, you could say, "I trust all is well at," and then give the company or organisation name. So that is how we're going to give thanks to our reader, but then we want to get straight to the point. So this is where we're going to give our detail. So if you are writing a letter of complaint, you're to start to explain the detail of why you are writing to that person. You might say, "I regret to inform you that." So it might be, "I regret to inform you that the parcel you have sent me is the wrong order. Or you might say, I am sorry to inform you that. Now, if we're saying I'm sorry, we're kind of apologising. So perhaps we need to say that we're sorry for something as part of our letter. So maybe we want to say, I am sorry that I will no longer be able to work with you as of the end of the month. So that could be a way that we're expressing regret or saying sorry in a letter or an email. Of course, we might be giving some really good news, and we might say something along the lines of, I am pleased to inform you that. I am pleased to inform you that your application for the job was successful. Or I am pleased to inform you that you have got a place on the course. If it's not a bad news, good news situation, but it is something that you are writing so that the receiver knows that you have a piece of information for them, you might simply say, I am writing to inform you that. I am writing to inform you that your appointment is on the 1st of September. After we have explained the detail and the purpose of our letter or email, we want to be indicating that we expect some sort of response from them. So if you have been making a complaint in your letter, you could say something like, I trust that this will be resolved soon. Or I trust that this matter will be resolved quickly. Or I trust that this will be resolved as soon as possible. If we want to indicate that that person needs to reply to us, we might say something like, I look forward to hearing from you. Then at the end of our letter or our email, we want to have something called a complimentary close. Now, if you are writing a formal letter and you don't know the name of the person that you are writing to, you're going to close your letter with yours faithfully and then sign and print your name. If you do know the name of the person that you are writing to, you can sign off your formal letter with yours sincerely and then sign and print your name. But if you're writing an email, we can afford to be a little bit less formal but still polite. So we could say regards and then our name, or we could say best regards or kind regards to be really, really polite. So these are some ways in which we can format a polite email or a formal letter. And I want you to consider this format to be a bit like a sandwich. So I want you to imagine that the address and the giving thanks, they're the bread of your sandwich. I want you to imagine that the detail and possibly the negative comments, the complaint part of your email or letter, if that's what it is, that's going to be the meat of your sandwich. And once you've done the meat, you've given them the detail, you need some more bread. So this is where you wrap it up positively again, looking forward to the future by saying things like, I trust this will be resolved soon, or I look forward to hearing from you. And then your nice, polite, complimentary close where you sign off. So next time you need to write a formal letter or a polite email, I want you to try using this sandwich format where you have an address at the top, where you're addressing the person that you are speaking to, then you have your giving thanks or compliments, then you have the meat, so the detail of the letter or email that you need to send, and then you have the parts at the end where we close off, we round off what we are saying, we indicate that we want to hear back from them, and then we close in a really complimentary way. So thank you for watching my video. Next time you're writing an email or a letter, let's see all of this in your response. Bye for now.